to Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise, and this is my show. I was debating. I was throwing it around. If any of you have any strong feelings on this, reach out to me. But I was thinking about changing the intro. I don't know, updating it. I need an updated picture for sure. But I'm getting my hair done Friday, so no sense taking pictures till I get the locks done. I'm all in. Gonna do something drastic, which literally could mean pretty much anything for me. Sorry, I was reaching for my water. I'm like, why is it on the opposite end of my desk? And why is my desk so long? Or my arms have shrunk. Highly doubted. What is going on since the last time we talked? Wrapping up summer. We started doing, I think I mentioned it. We started doing some early homeschooling, kind of dipping our toe in for the new year. The whole year will start for us in September, but I have a couple subjects that are taking us kind of past the school year in lessons because it's a lot of subject material, world history being one of them. And so I was like, you know what? We probably should just start a couple weeks early. Then I don't have to double up. I could have doubled up the weeks, but why? Make it easier, right? Smarter, not harder. Smarter, not harder. What else is going on? We, getting my hair done. I am going to do something drastic if she'll allow me to do it. No, I'm not going to cut it off, but it needs to be shaped for real. It is a little much to get a hold of right now. It is crazy. So I need her to definitely give me a little bit of shape, not make it look so bleh. And Scouts have started up all their fundraising. I do a next episode. It is not required, but I'm going to have Peter introduce a little spot that will introduce his popcorn sales for Scouts. You don't have to. You don't even need popcorn. It's only available in the United States. We did ask if it was available in Canada for my Canadian friends, and it is not. Hence why it's probably Scouts. I don't know. I think you guys have something different up there. I don't know if there's Boy Scouts. No clue. All I know is that our popcorn people only deliver to the United States. There's that. So I'm going to have a little link and a little something from Peter next week. He did succeed in sales last year. He was number 1 because Mom got involved. I'm getting involved in Pinewood Derby next year as well. We're going to kill it. I've never researched so much physics behind Pinewood Derby. No one needs to know what I know right now, except for apparently these guys that make these videos on YouTube. But I'm all in, and it's all legal. They're all like Boy Scout peeps, but it's going to be rocking because the same kid, it was a different kid, but just like popcorn, where the same kid won best sales every year. Peter got him last year and surpassed him by $800. It was awesome. Thank you to everybody who helped him with that. So, so he got the special patch and a prize, I think. I don't know, some sort of little prize. I don't know, it's a Boy Scout. Is it worth what they did in sales? Nope. But it's teaching them a lesson, right? You know, it is what it is. It's like the cereal box prize. But I'm going to age myself right now. The cereal box prize that you sent in for with your box tops and you got it. It was way cooler on the box than when you actually received it. And then you almost had to pretend like you really liked it, even though you're like, this is lame. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Yeah. Where's all my Gen Xers right now? And then, so it was the same thing with Pinewood Derby. It's the same kid that wins every year. And I'm just like, your dad has been watching these videos because I saw their car. I'm literally researching the video that Mr. Sith took. Anything that I can see. I'm going this year. I haven't gone in the past because usually I feel like crap. And to be around a bunch of kids while I'm feeling like crap with lupus just means I'm going to get sick. So I choose to skip out on that. I'm like, do I want to feel like poop with lupus flare, or feel like poop with lupus flare and be sick too? Yeah, I'll choose the first one. But I'm going to supplement myself up, and I'm going because I need to watch and observe and take videos because I'm all in. All in. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, I guess I can, like, cat's out of the bag. I announced it on Facebook, and whatever. I am getting baptized. Everyone's like, wait, what? You're like going to be 56, Denise. I was baptized Roman Catholic when I was younger, just like every other person in my family, just like I did for Peter. However, I've been on, as you all know, a spiritual journey for quite some time. But it's been about 4 years, maybe 6. I don't count those 2 years. Because they were all muddled up in MLM, and I don't know how much of it was actually me on a path to spirituality and being closer with Jesus, or because I was kind of in an echo chamber of cult. Sad but true. And stop it if you're in an MLM. Whatever, good for you. You do you, but you're never going to make any money, and it's not your own business, and you are in a pyramid scheme. Just saying. That said, I can't even talk about it. It's so bad. Then, okay, so this is what I totally distracted myself. I was like, wait, what? But yeah, so I'm only counting 4 years, and I've had so many people help me along the way. And I don't know who listens to this podcast or not. Like I said, I don't even know what friends listen and what friends don't. I'm pretty sure nobody in my family listens at all, which is why I openly talk. I would do it anyway because it's all the truth. It's my truth and nothing but my truth. And there are always two sides of the story, but this is my way to heal. And so it is, and continue to heal and continue to grow. And I have just found that the closer that I walk to where Jesus wants me to walk, the easier my life has become. Less stress, no anxiety. Do I still have sleepless nights? Absolutely. Most of them are just lupus and my brain being caught up in my brain. You know what I'm saying? I slept the other day 10 and a half hours. Let me explain to you what happens when you are used to sleeping 3 to 4 hour nights and you sleep 10 and a half hours. You have dreams that are outrageous, my friends. Like, I am dreaming of stuff that happened at a grocery store yesterday. I'm also incorporating something that I did in college. There's going to be someone from my youth, somebody from when I was drinking, all mixed together with like a band I know, a TV show I watched. And it's all lumped into one story. And in this particular dream, my brain couldn't be like, you know what, we're going to file all this and just let you go to sleep and enjoy your REM. And we're just going to give you pleasant thoughts of the visions, like little pictures in your head of this little pretty dream that we're going to do. Nope. In my brain, okay, my neurons and all that are just like, she's sleeping! And they are tossing shit everywhere. They're pulling boxes that were standing in the corner and trying to store those. They're pulling whatever. They don't know what, but they just know they have a short ass window while I am in REM. And so they are going to put as much stuff as they can. And it doesn't even matter how organized it is. And that's why I wind up with these weird ass dreams. I'm convinced of it, my friends. In fact, I think there should be like a cartoon. You know what's the name of the cartoon? No. I don't even know what it is. DreamWorks? I don't know. Like the one where the like angry, joy, sadness, envy, like, and then there's like puberty steps in, hormones. They should have one of just the guys in the file room and it's my brain, or somebody with OCD type A. And this whole show, I would go see that. I'd laugh my behind off. All right. So this was a nice little distraction and random rant. I'm getting baptized on Sunday. And I'm really super excited about it because it's a special day, not just in and of itself, but because Peter has chosen to be baptized as well. So it is a little extra special for both of us. My family is not going. I told them I was being baptized and they were like, okay, well, you were already baptized once. What do you need to be baptized again for? Because they're on a different path and they're really kind of stuck in a Catholicism state of mind, even though they're non-practicing Catholics. So it's interesting, I do have my amazing friend Christy is coming. She's the one that she lived in North Carolina. She's not originally from there, but she lives in North Carolina. She just moved to Tennessee. I swear, while I was in Italy, she moved to Tennessee. Wasn't even planned. Okay. So she's in Tennessee now and she's going to fly up here Friday and spend the weekend with us and come witness to me to be baptized. She was originally supposed to come, but then they moved and everything. So I'm like, you don't have to come. Like, that'd be crazy. And then I cried because she wasn't coming. Cause I was like, she's like one of the few people who would understand how important this is to us. I do have an amazing friend from our homeschool community. She's coming. So I'm so thankful to Christy. I'm thankful to Tammy. I know that our writing instructor, Pam, she wanted to come. She's going to try to come. She has a horse show that day. So she's not sure. She's like riding in a horse show. So she doesn't know if she can make it depending on weather. So if it rains out, she can come. And my friend Cheryl, she's actually out of town as well. Cause I didn't really plan it. Like, it was last minute thing and I just went for it. So I appreciate all the support online. Obviously this is a public declaration of my faith in following Jesus. And, so I'm talking about it cause I think that's what you're supposed to do, right? I don't know. But yeah, so that's it. And I'm super excited about it. I know everyone says that when it actually happens, even though you've made all the changes, for me, this is like a renewal. I'm starting fresh. I'm accepting the gift. I'm, of baptism. I'm, accepting the Holy Spirit and the gift from God that, Jesus died for our sins and for my sins, and that we are forever forgiven and we find salvation in following Christ. So boom, there you go. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about Rome, day 2. We're still talking about Italy. It was a long ass trip, people. And in fact, it was so funny. One of my listeners and good friends reached out to me. I don't know if she wants to be named Michelle. But which Michelle? Is it Michelle with 1 L? Michelle Therapy? Michelle, I got tons of Michelle. I got like 6 Michelles. So it's one of the Michelles, but she knows who she is. She reached out to me and she was like, so how much does like a European vacation cost? And I'm like, oh, I can do the whole thing for you. Here's me. I wonder if I'd make a good travel planner. I don't like people though. Like, I could deal with her, but I can't, like, I don't want somebody calling me. I would be outraged if I sent somebody on a trip and they were like, this was horrible. And I'd be like, well, then probably because you did it wrong. Just saying. But I was like, anytime, Michelle, you tell me, that's offer stands, and I am serious. I will sit down like I am a free travel agent. Well, I guess travel agents are free, right? But like, whatever you want, I will. Romance, wine trip, food trip, whatever, church trip. You tell me, all of the above, I will make it happen. I will make it happen, my friend. And I will do it on a budget for you. I mean, I don't really think we spent that much. So, I mean, for 4 people, we took 4 people. And that included airfare, the number I quoted her. So there's that. So day 2, Rome. We just chilled. Last week, we just talked slightly about just Rome in general. It's just like, Rome is a living being, like living, breathing thing. It's like visiting the things in the history book except they're right there before your eyes and you're touching them and you're viewing them. And Michelle said, I don't know if I want to just be like, see a bunch of old buildings with a bunch of people. I totally get that. Because I feel like once you see Rome, it's fine. But I mean like a location. So for instance, we did go back to locations we were at prior for two different reasons. Either we didn't complete the full tour and we felt like we wanted it because we didn't think we needed it. And then we came home, we were like, we probably should have done that. Or because there's so much to see in Rome, there's so much there. I feel like you could go back quite a few times and still see different things by just concentrating on a particular location or area and almost kind of living as a local. I don't really think, like, although it looks like it appears that we go from place to place to place to place to place, we really were winging it, meaning that we knew we wanted to do this, but there was no time limits, no schedules, we just felt like we didn't want to do that. Now, there are some things you do need to plan ahead. Your entrance into the Colosseum, the Sistine Chapel, anything at the Vatican needs a ticket. Like the Pantheon tickets, you could just buy that like while you're in line. We did. It's not a big deal. So you just got to know when to go. Earlier and later is better. Midday is a poop show. Plus, depending on what time you go, if it's summer months, it's going to be hotter than heck. Okay? Just wanting you to know. So we woke up day 2 and decided we were going to get up super early and go to Trevi Fountain because, hey, remember, we had to wind up getting some random place to stay because our apartment got canceled out on us. So we just thought, well, if we're in the Trevi district, then that's not where we were intending to be originally. So don't forget, a lot of the coffee places that I picked and all of this all did not apply because they were in the Campo Fiore neighborhood and not in Trevi area. So I had to like redo everything kind of on the fly. And that involved a lot of just kind of hanging out. Saw that, take a picture of it. I'll look at it later tonight once we're back at the room. But we knew for sure that we were going to go back to Trevi because we had Angie with us. And we also wanted better pictures at Trevi and kind of like Peter and, of course, the tradition. So the tradition is if you stand in front of the fountain and you throw a coin from your right hand from your right hand over your left shoulder. The thing is that is like almost a promise that you will return to Rome. So Peter did it last time. He did it again this time. And I got Angie did it as well. And then if you go in the back, so when you're looking at Trevi Fountain, in the right-hand corner, like you're facing it directly, in the right-hand corner is a fountain. And it's got like 2 random like streams of water, almost like a drinking fountain. Either way, it's called the Lover's Fountain. So it's supposed to solidify like your love. This is all just, random fun stuff, guys. Does it actually true? No, probably not. I'm sure there's tons of people who've touched it, drank from it, been by it, and, washed themselves in it, and then got divorced. It is what it is. But it's a cute little thing to do. So we did take some really nice pictures at Trevi this year. Nobody was there. There were like literally 5-6 people, and all of them were the over 50. Because the early bird gets the worm. But we took some really nice pictures of Angie. I'm going to make her like a little travel book. And I figured like, why not? But yeah, so if you look again, for those who are asking, the Lover's Fountain to the side, I have my little note. Somebody had mentioned like, where is it? So, somebody mentioned it. Where is it at? I have a picture of like us. It's sort of like in a little crevice, like I said, on the right-hand side towards the back. You got to walk back against the wall. It's like the wall of the fountain, kind of, okay? And then you'll see like a little basin with a plaque and then 2 like fountains, streams of water that hit the thing. It's pretty cool. So I got pictures of like all the kids there and stuff. Me and Carl drank from the fountain. That was a nice picture because, of course, it's like me from behind. So all you see me is in my big striped blued. I tried to not care. I took pictures this year. I'm trying to do that. I'm telling you, ladies, take the pictures. Who cares if we look fat? I mean, mind you, like Mr. Sith will take pictures of me, and I feel like he's almost like, okay, look at me. Now look down on the floor, but now jam your chin into your chest, and I'm going to stand on this chair and take a picture of you so that I look like a walrus. I'm just saying. And then he'll be like, I took a picture of you while you were there. And I'm like, oh my God, that was so nice. And then I look at the picture and I'm like, what? What? I'm like, oh my God, delete. I'm not saving those. That's a no. So it was nice because we went at a time where the fountain was just cleaned. Okay, so if you go in the morning, please research. Italy puts everything on a website, but there are certain mornings, 2 mornings a week, I believe, that they will empty the fountain and clean out all the coins in them, because if not, you can't see the bottom. And they donate all those coins to charity. It's amazing. If you Google that, like YouTube it, they'll show you where it is. Then we had it was just finding. So we found this place it was right down the block from our apartment, and it had pastries. I will tell you that it's kind of cool. I think I'd mentioned this before in another podcast. I find it absolute, and this is because we're Americans, which is strange because we're the, quote unquote melting pot. But I find it absolutely fascinating when you go to another country like Italy or Ireland or whatever, and you see someone who physically, outwardly characteristics, Asian. This was the one I'm going to talk about. It's a pretty general term, okay? I'm using it specifically because I have no idea where they're from. All I know is that they are clearly of Asian descent, yet they're Italian. Mind blown. Thought it was awesome because you know what that does? They're bringing cool stuff like boba and noodles and dumplings. And yeah, they already have noodles, but in all honesty, China invented pasta. So I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I just know I love that kind of melting pot stuff. Yeah. Everyone's like, so wait, what? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was in Rome where we stopped and had ramen. The kids had ramen. One of them did. I don't know. I forget what mine had. I don't know. I guess we'll hit a picture. But when you're in Italy, you must start the day the way the Italians do. You will not find, okay, I'm telling you right now, Americans, unless you're an American hotel, you are not going to find eggs and bacon and sausage and, no. Pancakes? No. You're going to have a pastry. Cornetto is the most popular, which is basically you're going to find stuffed Italian, for lack of a better term, croissants that are filled with different creams, whether it be just a custard cream or pistachio cream, my favorite. And just so you know, their pistachio is very pistachio, meaning it's kind of like a gray green, like it should be, and not bright green because it's not a shamrock. Well, you know what I'm saying? I hate artificial, and then they also have obviously Nutella or the hazelnuts, and they have ones filled with jelly and cheese and like ricotta or something like that. It's delicious. So we had breakfast there. Had our, it was right at the end. I'm telling you, the pistachio creams are so good. Always have the espresso. You're welcome to have cappuccino before 10 o'clock. If you order it after, some people will tell you, you can order whatever you want. If you're a tourist, it doesn't matter. They're okay with it. No, they're not. They just don't say anything. But technically, let me explain to you why. They don't do dairy after the morning because they feel as dairy's hard to digest. 'Cause it is. And theirs is good dairy. It ain't even the crap dairy we have here in the U.S. And I'm telling you, they have the best digestions, and they do different digestives throughout the day. Espresso in it of itself is a digestive. So what do they know? But explore, go through the little streets. That's what we did. We went up and down the streets and looked at all the cool corners and the buildings and the architecture, the stonework, the wrought iron. We wound up going from Trevi Fountain to breakfast because we wanted to really get there before anybody else did. And then we found out if we walked down a way a little bit, one of the things we didn't really focus on last time we were there was the Spanish Steps. So I'm like, well, let's go see the little monolith. Well, it's not little, but we'll go see the monolith above the Spanish stairs. And instead of going up the Spanish steps, we were on the side where we can walk straight across and then look down on the Spanish Steps. I'm like, this is the smart way to do it, right? So that's what we did. And so they have you'll see the beautiful black cobblestone in the square, tons of cars. You look down the Spanish Steps. It's gorgeous. And we're like, wow, they're really clean and no one's here. No, nobody's really here. Why are they closed? We're like, there's no one in the Spanish Steps. What's going on right now? So we took some awesome pictures, and what was so funny is that it shows you how kids are, right? I have a picture of Angie, which apparently there was some sort of party there the night before, and there was like confetti pieces everywhere. Okay, they hadn't cleaned up yet, and we were coming down the steps. Not the Spanish Steps themselves, but there's kind of like a side step that goes into the like neighborhooding side street. And so, but you're still heading the right direction, I should say. So there's a bunch of stuff on the floor. Here's me. She just randomly gathers a ton off the floor with her hands. Here's me. Ew. To be a kid and to be young, right? She's 20. First time she was in Europe. And she grabs them all and she tosses them up in the air and goes, take a picture of me. And here's me. Okay, well, I was not even prepared for that. So as much as I'm like squinching inside right now, you have to do it again. So her and Pete scraping up all the confetti off the floor. And I'm like, I'm just saying. And she does it again. And I captured the picture and you can see the confetti. And I'm like, okay, enough said. There you go. So we're walking down, coming around. I'm telling you, just walking when you have to understand that you're walking. And this is part of the thing that I was telling my friend. It's not just about a bunch of old buildings. You're literally walking through, in, and on history. Without this city, our whole country would not exist, which is why it's so important for me. Everyone's like, oh, you're teaching Peter world history. You should teach him American history. Well, you kind of got to understand world history way before you even get to us. That's what I'm doing. Are we looking at American history? We sure are in bits and pieces. But right now, we need to focus on world history so he understands the whole point of our country coming into existence. And to do that, you can't just like do the beef between England and the king and us, the colonizers. You have to start earlier. You need to know the history of power and war in the world, how it repeats itself over and over and over again. It's the same story over and over. And I think that's super important. So when we're walking around, that's what we look at. We look at architecture. We look at, sometimes you'll be walking and there's sub-streets that have been unearthed, but you don't know. You walk by and you're like, what is that? Why are all the streets go up and then down and then around a corner? Because it's just like they're building, My friend was saying, oh, it's really hard. They were building like a little strip mall and a park in our neighborhood, but then they had to stop because they unearthed some ruins in an aqueduct. And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, just imagine, like you just are so excited that you're going to get like a mini mall and a Starbucks. I'm just saying, right? Whatever you do, right? But I just threw that out. And a park for the kids. And then they can't do it because there's Roman ruins under it. That's everywhere you walk in Rome. It's outrageously amazing. So then we wound up, Peter's fountain was open. He was so excited. So it is the fountain that is right below in front of the Spanish Steps at the bottom. And it is one of the few fountains that is still drinking. So it's, is it potable or potable? I don't know. I say potable because I feel it sounds better, but I believe it's potable, meaning you can drink it. Okay. But that you can walk in. So you wouldn't drink water out of the Trevi fountain. That's like a no-no. Okay. I believe it's against the law as well. However, there's tons of Nesonis that we talked about where they have fountains that naturally exist throughout the city that bring water up from the aqueducts, and it's very cold and it's very good. It's nice and clean. It tastes wonderful. But there's one, this is one of, I think there's a few more, but that you can walk into the fountain. So there's like there's a fountain. It's like oval, and there's a centerpiece in it. And then there's kind of like almost a platform of something prior, and you could walk over the ledge of the fountain and onto that little platform, and then you could fill up all your bottles. So Peter was there, 2 years ago? So he's just so tiny. But it's pretty cool. They had a bunch of scaffolding and stuff around it, which was kind of disappointing, but they're always building, always fixing. They can't just go in and, how do you clean a fountain that's this old? How do you clean Trevi Fountain? How do you clean any of these fountains that are made with marbles and materials that no longer exist? You have to preserve that. There are guys who are out there, and gals, I'm sure, that are cleaning these things with toothbrushes and special detergents or things made to clean these. They're gorgeous. Like this fountain was white. We looked at it compared to the last time we were there, and it is a remarkable difference in how clean it is. Just the stone itself. It's crazy. So took some stuff. She got to see the horses and carriages. It was so funny because I told her, always, like dogs, always ask if you can pet the horse. Don't just walk up to it. Like, that's a no-no. So she's like, oh, your horse is so pretty. Can I pet it? And he was like, yes. And then we get to another one, and she was like, oh, he's even prettier. Can I pet him? And she's like, no, he will bite you. I'm like, okay. See, that's why you ask, because you definitely don't need to get bit by a horse. Tons of monoliths and statues and pillars all over tiny little piazzas around Rome and any other city in Italy. Stop. Look at them. Read them. Look around the square. Those were the community places. They're really just so much history just in some of these statues alone, right? So we were walking through, we were waiting for a cab. We decided that we were going to do something that we normally don't ever do. Okay. Listen, sometimes you got to think out of the bag. Ready for it? We went to McDonald's. Now, we didn't just go to any McDonald's. We went to a McDonald's in Rome that has historical frescoes on the wall as you enter them. And it's kind of a cool place. But if you go in, they have a special plaque that basically states what it is, the time that it was. I don't know this. It was I'm looking now, the 11th of November in the year, oh, geez. I'm going to have to get Pete because they're Roman numerals. MDCCXXXV that year. There's that. But just special notations that it's got for it. And that it was, listed as basically a prime McDonald's because of the way it had some ancient historical artifacts in it and frescoes. It is what it is. They unearthed them. They happen to have them. And then you go up the stairs. It's kind of a long hallway. And then you see all the frescoes and stuff, and then you go up into the McDonald's itself. So if you need to know, no, McDonald's in Italy does not serve what we have here. It's different. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that anything tastes good there either. It is what it is. And then there's the debate. My friend was mentioning that lives in Italy, in Rome. She was saying, so do you guys do Burger King or McDonald's? And I'm like, well, we don't really have Burger Kings around us. We had one and it closed. In fact, I think we had two and it closed. And then, so I said, if we do burgers, we usually do like a local like little Greek fast food place we got, Costa's, or we do Five Guys. But Five Guys is like further away and it's so expensive now. It's like ridiculous. So I'm like, we'd rather just go to Costa's and support a family-owned business. And she's like, oh, we're totally a Burger King family. I'm like, okay. So we did not do Burger King to see. I'll tell you that much. But what we had decided is that while we were on the train coming from Florence, I decided that I was really reaching the end of my rope with respects to my physical energy level. Okay. I was in complete fatigue. I was really struggling with being swollen and inflammation, and in the heat wasn't making it any better. And Rome is just probably the most we walked in any city. And it will be. It's a lot of walking. There's no other if, and, or but. You can get around walking. Can you take other things? Yeah. But you have to wait. You have to know the system so you're not ripped off. And you have to be alert. You know what I'm saying? We took trains there before. We've taken buses before. We've done all of the above. I'm just saying it's easier to just walk. And on occasion, we would take either a taxi or an Uber. Sometimes the Ubers were cheaper than the taxis. So we just took an Uber, cleaner car. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we got into bad cabs. We have not had a bad taxi or a bad ride while we were in Rome. Not yet, knock on wood. But we had decided, because I was so stressed out, that I wanted to see as much of the city as possible for Angie, because she had never been there before. And we don't know that she'll ever go again. Right? I mean, I would love that this opportunity really gave her the travel bug and she's going to go back one day. Okay. But just in case she didn't, I wanted her to see as much as possible. And I knew I could not do that on foot. So I went, and I found on, was it Travelocity? I don't even know. Travel Advisor. I can never remember I can never remember the name of it. I went on there and I found that there was like 2 highly rated golf cart tours. And so the one that was really, really, it was called Rolling Rome. Rolling Rome. And so I just got on. There was a 3:00 tour for the next day. And I took it. I don't remember how much it cost. It wasn't outrageous. So I could tell you that much. It wasn't outrageous. And it was a 3-hour tour. The 3-hour tour. If you know, you know. But I thought, hey, 3 hours, they'll stop if we need to go to the bathroom. They'll stop at places if you want a snack. You tell them what you want and they make it happen. And if you tell them where your apartment or your hotel is, they will pick you up right outside, which our friend did. His name was Alex. He was amazing. So we knew that was going to be happening. Okay. So I thought, we did have tickets to the Coliseum and to the Forum. So we knew we would be doing that. And so I said, so we don't need Trevi Fountain. So we'll just have them like surprise us, but hit up really good stuff outside of that. And then in the morning, the same morning, we wound up taking a car after we did our breakfast in our Trevi Fountain and went to the Spanish Steps and all that. And we went to the Villa Borghese Gardens. Now, we've been there before. They have the beautiful historical pond with the famous fountain in the middle, and you could take the boats out, the barca, and you can roll around. It was wonderful. Okay. Now, I've already been on the boat, so it wasn't a big deal, but I am like super inflamed at this point, and there's no way I'm getting on a boat safely. So, because I never know when the knees and stuff are going to give. So rather than pile into a pond uncontrollably, like not knowing if it may or may not happen, I figured it could be Angie, Mr. Sith, and Peter, right? So they did that. So, but what we did learn from last time, because we came in the back way last time. So we had our Uber driver drop us off at the center. There's like a little center roundabout of the park. And right there are the golf carts. The golf cart tour. You could rent it and drive the golf carts around. It's big, peeps, okay? And drive them around. So You bet your sweet behind we did that. It was, and now we know kind of our way around, right? Because we've been there. So we rented a golf cart and it all worked out. We got like slushies from their little like park place, and it's beautiful, the gardens itself, when you realize it was all owned by one family. But we let Mr. Sith let Angie, because she's getting her license, so let Angie drive the golf cart. She was doing great with that. Me and Pete were chilling in the back. They went and did all that. There was actually a group of people that were meeting with their dogs that day, and the dogs were jumping into the fountains. It was hilarious. They are super dog friendly. I've mentioned that before in Italy. Super dog friendly. I love it. But yeah, so just got to see all the different buildings and stuff at the Borghese Gardens again, and just all the different things. The trees there's some trees there that are so old and so huge. So they have something called the Jerusalem pine in Italy. Just Google it. They are fantastical trees. They're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. So I didn't walk around to like, I was saving myself, which I'm glad I did, because I was worried about like, well, I don't know what we're doing on this golf cart tour. But we went all through the gardens. I took pictures of all like the beautiful basins and fountain basins, and there's tons of stuff there. The overlook to look down onto the piazza. I can't think of the name of the piazza offhand, but there's the Neptune. Is it Neptune? Poseidon. No, it would be Neptune. Poseidon is not. Okay. I'm like, I don't know. And then at the pond, the amazing Italian ducks. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They're bold. You're not supposed to feed them, but they are bold. They will follow you around if they think you have food. But yeah, so they went on the boat. They had a great time. Angie even tried to drive, like to row, and she's realized how hard it actually was. I was like, yeah, I can't row. I mean, I guess I could when I was younger, but now, nope. It would tear my back up. And they have tons of turtles at this pond. So I kept telling her, look around. There's turtles everywhere. So that's what we did for the remainder. That basically the primarily all of that morning. And I just kind of stood on the outside, sat down, took pictures of them on the boat, enjoyed. There was a nice breeze, but it was getting hot. But I did take some beautiful pictures, saw the turtles. We wound up having lunch within Villa Borghese itself. Normally I would not do that because it's super touristy, but we were tired and we were hot and we were hungry and thirsty. And so I wanted to make sure we had some place that was close, because I knew that once we got back to the apartment, we would just be basically napping and freshening up because we had to run out for the golf cart tour. But all the beautiful flowers and stuff that grow naturally, I'm like, why can't we get these? Like, I want to get these in my backyard. But all the different things that you can take. So the golf cart tour wound up coming at 3:00. Turns out they are completely booked through basically fall. And he's like, wait, you booked this yesterday? There must have been a cancellation. Because everyone online said it was really hard to get a booking too. And I'm like, really? I just went online and booked it. I'm like, boom. It was not a problem. But yeah, so he took us, we told him what the requirements were, and that we just basically wanted to go anywhere that weren't those major tourist sites, because we'd already been there, and Villa Borghese. It was a brand new golf cart. It was a 6-seater. Angie and Peter were sitting in the back at first, and me and Mr. Sith were in the middle, and I felt it was kind of claustrophobic. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like having the seats behind me, but it was super, super comfortable. And then we wound up jazzing it up a little bit at the end. So what happened is Peter wanted to sit in the front with Alex, our driver. And then he had a kid who was like Peter's age, so he was super entertaining him. And then I sat in the back with Angie, and then Mr. Sith had more room like in the middle. So, because he's big. But they took us to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's a beautiful building. He took us to so many great places, tons of areas. He took us to the highest spots, showing us the different parliament buildings. He took us to the Argentinian area that has where Julius Caesar was stabbed and where the cat sanctuary is. He took us to go see a lot of the old churches. I can't think of it right now, but the one with that you walk up that has the angels on either side. Oh, I'm horrible at this when I don't have any notes for today, so I kind of blew it. But all the different, like, we ran along the river for a little bit because we were going to go over to Trastevere. And so we went through Trastevere. We walked up and down the streets. We wound up stopping there for gelato. And he picked up a supli because he had not ate that. And I'm like, how cool. We're just walking around, getting food, talking to this guy. The gelato was amazing at that place in Trastevere. I did find out, though, as we were going through there, that it probably is great to visit, but I don't know that I would have wanted to stay there. Now, I was staying just north of there on the other side of the river in Campo Fiore originally is where we wanted to stay. And that's the apartment that canceled. I still feel like I would have liked that neighborhood better because it's just a little bit, where we were staying was a little bit more local. But he wound up taking us up to one of the highest spots. We were just driving up and up and up and up to one of the highest spots in Rome. And right through this area in the corner, you can see St. Peter's Basilica, and it's almost perfectly framed by trees from the high point. It's gorgeous. And then, of course, if you look the opposite way, there's tons of stuff. You could see all of Rome. He took pictures for us. It was just so nice to see a different perspective. And he's like, a lot of people don't come up this way because it's a lot of walking, like to come up that high. But to look down and see the tomb and the Colosseum and like everything all there, to see all that history was pretty remarkable. So that was a great view that we wouldn't have gotten without him. And then he also took us to the Jewish ghetto, which I was super excited about. He did Trastevere first and then did Jewish ghetto. I wish we could have spent more time in the Jewish ghetto. I feel like that is a highly underrated neighborhood in Rome. It is gorgeous. Trying to think. There was something. So the gelato place, because everybody always asks. So the gelato place that we went to is called Otaleg, which is gelato spelled backwards. Otaleg. Okay, Otaleg. It's gelato backwards. They had amazing flavors. Highly suggest them. Now, they were not covered gelato, but it was good gelato. So it wasn't authentic gelato, like super. But they didn't pile it up high, and they did have it in stainless steel. It just wasn't covered. They did have the cases closed, though, in between scoops. So, I'll give them that much. He also took us, there were so many different, like the architecture and all the different areas to just drive around and see it all was really kind of nice to just not have to do it for yourself. We went through, I forget what it's called, but it's like a dedication bridge to the Virgin Mary and all of the people who prayed to the Virgin Mary for all, whatever they needed. And when their prayers were answered, they put thank you plaques on this bridge area that's dedicated to her. It was kind of cool. Super, super cool. The tower, a lot of the neighborhoods are really nice. I was like, what? That's where I need to stay. I'm like, we need to come back and stay in this neighborhood. We did go and see, I believe it's St. Agnes. I'm so horrible with names, but it is also an amazing high view. It is the oldest Roman Catholic church. And they are the original trees on the property were oranges that were brought there. So it was the first oranges in Rome. And it was really cool. That also, you can look out and see the basilica. Now, it was also cool to know that it's kind of like a dimensional spatial thing, an optical illusion. No matter where you are it looks closer than it is. It's pretty cool. But seeing the original older and all of the Jerusalem pines, it was pretty out. They're like perfectly framed. So when you walk down this area and you've got all these trees up, just kind of like creating this almost archway for you, and then perfectly centered is the Basilica Dome. It's just crazy. Crazy beautiful. But you have to kind of like see it. It's just really cool. And then they have all sorts of, like I said, when you see a statue or you see some sort of little landmark of some sort, always stop and read them because they're so fascinating to just see. And I highly recommend the tour because we just got to see so many different neighborhoods that we would not have even known to go visit. So that was pretty cool. Like just seeing a bunch of stuff that we didn't even know existed, in all honesty. All these different parks and their entryways to come in from different directions. Frescoes that are still outside on the building. People walk by them every day. It's like mind-blowing. And it was interesting also this time to know that as we were driving around, I knew when we were in neighborhoods we were in before because they instantly felt familiar to me. So that was super cool. But just watching like Peter walk around like it was no big deal. So when we were in the Jewish ghetto, one of the things, and Peter didn't understand, but one of the things that they have are the little gold bronze plaques on the ground outside. And those are people that were killed during the war. Okay. So it's a dedication on how many family members I believe that were lost during the war, during the Holocaust, essentially. So it was something. Their church in the Jewish ghetto was beautiful. It's such a gorgeous building. Highly recommend you go see it. Like I said, I would definitely spend more time in that neighborhood, in and of itself, because I felt like there was more I wanted to see there. But, excellent tour. I'm trying to look what else we did here. Lots of states building. The Bridge of Sighs, we were walking and he was like, right down here. So every now and then we would get out of the golf cart and he would take us somewhere. He did take us on some excursions and I was having trouble keeping up at one point. And I finally just told him, I said, listen, just so you know, I have lupus. And he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Do you want to I will not take you anymore walking. And I said, no. It's okay. I just want you to know that I won't be able to keep up at that particular pace, but I want to see these things. So he kind of took us through like a bunch of different, like almost kind of like a Bridge of Sighs thing, right? So where they kind of are walking, obviously that's in Venice, but there's bridges like that similar so that the aristocracy and they didn't have to walk on the streets. So it's kind of cool. All the different buildings and the palaces. And he took us into, maybe that was St. Agnes. I'm not sure. But it's the church where when you look up at the ceiling, it's absolutely phenomenal. It is absolutely gorgeous. This fresco, this painting, this round dome, right? But in actuality, when you look at it, okay, it is not domed at all. It is painted to create the optical illusion of it being domed. But it is not domed, which is the cool part. It's just stuff like that. Tons of little, obviously, side areas. Peter lit another candle for his godmother. And it was just, I've never been disappointed with any churches. But this church particularly specializes in, for lack of a better term, nativity scenes. But miniatures that are handmade and created in displays. And they had one that is basically like the workings of the ins and outs of the ancient cities. Okay. They are so detailed and full of just color and whimsy. It was remarkable to see. I'll just tell you that. We finished out the tour I told him that he did not, he asked, which I thought was awesome, but I told him that he did not have to drop us off at the apartment, and we were all really hot by that time. So he took us to Rinascente. So Rinascente is a mall there and in Rome. And he's like, I'm going to take you into Rinascente, and we are going to see a monument inside the mall. So while they were building the mall, like I had talked earlier, they started digging and they found an aqueduct area, an archaeological site. Okay. So it was the Aqua Virgo Aqueduct. Okay. And it's considered one of the great engineering works of the ancient Roman era. It was apparently built like between 25 and 19 BC by Marcus Agrippa, the son-in-law and the of Emperor Augustus. Okay. They said the name probably stems from the purity of its water, but according to legend, it derives from the apparition of a virgin who showed Agrippa's soldiers where to find the natural spring. So it is so cool that they unearthed this thing and decided to keep a portion of it along the wall of the mall downstairs. And you can look down because you're kind of like on this main level of the basement. So it would be the lower level of this huge mall, right? It's like, I think it was like 8, 9, 10 floors. Okay. And it's all high end stuff. Okay. But when you go to this one little part, there's a glass partition and you can actually look over the edge and you can see the aqueducts. They literally unearthed them. The original floor of one of them exists. No, it would be the ceiling. So, because they all got it. But it's interesting to just see that it goes down even further. It goes down even further. It is just crazy. You're in a mall. You're buying high-end Louis Vuitton or whatever you, Prada, whatever, right? But yet, here is this ancient Roman aqueduct. That's insane. We did something that we normally don't do for dinner that night, and that was we ate in a tourist area, right? But this place had it had big reviews. It's called Pizza and Trevi, okay, the PIT experience. The reason why I thought this one was okay, reservations are a must. The place is packed. And as soon as we made our reservations early for this one, so it was kind of easier to get a reservation, but because it's in a tourist area, everybody else is eating there too because they're tourists and they don't eat late. So the deal is that this place made pizzas, but they used sourdough and they actually put the mother on the thing. It's like on the counter in the back. So it says, Levito Madre Sourdough Starter, 1/8/2010. I mean, you're eating. I'm just saying, if you know, you know. Okay? If you are a bread person who can't eat bread, and you realize that you can eat stuff like this, and they openly advertise because they're proud of the fact that they're using a good bread and a starter, stop it right now. It was so good. Yeah, it was like delicious. The pizza in Rome is fabulous because it's thin, like super thin, like not Chicago thin, not New York thin. It's hard to describe how thin it is, but it's so flavorful. You think you need a lot. I love, so there's they have a limonata biologica. So basically it's a organic lemon, like sparkling soda for lack of a better term. It was my favorite. My favorite. Delicious. I loved it. But that was what we ate for dinner, and it was really good. We were all pooped by that point because even though we were just going around on the golf cart, we were still super exhausted because of the heat. We did get out and have to walk around, stuff like that. And but that was our first day was a lot. It was a lot. People don't even realize how much just one small archaeological historical area in Rome can encompass, because it's not just going and looking at something. It's the history, the story, the art, the creation, somebody made it. It's still standing, like, holy cow. But that's the Rome that I like and I enjoy. I really do. I just love the history of it. And Roman people, I think, are super, super friendly. I know it's not like New York. Sorry, New Yorkers. But you guys, like, honestly didn't even notice somebody walking around with an AK-47. Like, if you know, you know. There was a news story where somebody literally openly was carrying an AK-47, like, into a place and shot it up. He literally walked to get there, like an average New York day, and not a single person reported it till he started shooting at the place. I'm like, what? Oh, but that's pretty much New York. They don't even look up from their, like, phones. They just go about. I'm going to be honest with you. There's tons to see in New York. I haven't been there in ages, but there are historical things and cool things to see in New York. But in all honesty, it is one of the most unfriendliest places I've ever been. And I've been a lot of places, just saying. I love my peeps who are from New York, but all of them, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's coincidence, but all of them no longer live in New York. City, New York City. Not my upstate New York friends. Y'all are different. You cut from a different bread. All right. That's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys again next week. And until then, lead with kindness. Bye.